Hello everyone, it's Cheryl Millett here, live at 5 Mondays, and it's all things healthy. So the idea is to share information that comes up, usually within the day, usually within a couple of, a couple of days, something like that. But Mondays is usually the live at 5, that's the original spot a couple of years ago, or more than a couple of years ago. But just recently with this event, did a little bit more of these calls because there, I'll say hello to my daughter. Anyway, there's a few things on the table for today. One I've just kind of made mention to roller coaster ride. That's all I've kind of put there. So welcome. If you've been to Live at 5, then howdy, welcome back. And if this is new for you, then welcome. Let's get in kind of like the format, just kind of like a new format here is learning something different, something new, a share, and then go into the news. And there may be one, two, or three things depending on the day, and then something humorous or laughter. Follow up that at the end, and there you go. And then whatever comes to mind, I never know. I'm just speaking here, and I'm kind of just clear-headed and have my few things to speak about, but anything can pop in, and then I'll just share because that's what I like to do. I like to teach, like to educate, like to bring information forward. So I'm actually going to start off with just as a reminder, tonight, do yourself a huge favor and come on to the call. Put the link down below. It's a Google Meet with Sylvain Henry, and it's about bringing Canadians together. If I get your email, if you message me your email, if I haven't already sent you an email, but you can message me, private message me your email address, and I'll send you the recent newsletter, which actually, after Sylvain and I's conversation yesterday about thoughts for things too, and impeccability and all of that, you put together a lovely email that puts a number of the points, put things in perspective, and I would send that to you. And if you like, whether again any Canadian, but everybody's welcome from around the world, because in a sense this event is actually the global event. It's affecting a lot of people, and there's a number of things that really hold to be true for all of us anyway, which is we all care. We all care. We may have different ideas on any one topic, but we all care, and that is very clear from any one discussion on anything. So let's carry on with crystals. I'm going to get comfortable here because to me, crystals or understanding crystals at the level that I'm going to communicate it to you today, I have not heard much in the way of this understanding. And so let me just explain to you a couple of things first. Yes, I did a bit of reading, and I'm going to bring up the emerald as one of the crystals here. First and foremost, tell you some of the healings, a little bit of information on it, and then I'm going to go into crystals and information, key information. It'll be a lot of fun. So emerald, precious stone, part of the month of May. So if you are born in May, then emerald would be your stone or one of your stones. There is a chemical description here as to why it has its colors. So that's where we get to chemicals, because that's going to define what the color is of the crystal. So in this case, it's beryllium, aluminum, and silicate. Beautiful vivid green, but like any gem, there is variations in color. They're not perfect. That would be for sure. So that's a chemical description, but the beautiful vivid green color of the stone is due to chromium and traces of iron. Yeah, that beautiful yellow. So all true emeralds have faults called inclusions. If a stone looks too perfect, it can be a sign that it is fake. So these inclusions mean that emeralds shatter easily. I can tell you that. I've had emerald school ring, one of the colors with green, and yes, it did shatter. And it actually didn't take that much. It wasn't like I did it on a rock or anything like that. but it did. So they are also susceptible to drying out, which maybe had a role in the length of time I had it and why I did that, which is why most are treated with oil after cutting and shaping. And maybe I wore it all the time, so maybe I should have put some oil on it. But anyway, let's just go. I want to just bring up the healing thing, healing effects here as it speaks to. So anybody can get, there's, I think, a multitude of crystal books and a lot of information online. But let's speak to, well, geographical sources: Africa, Brazil, Colombia, and Russia. Rarity: rare and expensive as a gem quality, but more easily available at lower grade. And healing effects, since we're all about health, is, let's see here, it says place over heart. So in a healing way, you would place it over the heart or the throat or the third eye, and to facilitate clear and pure expressions and feeling of love. Very nice. Obviously, personal issues for uses for gems are typically in jewelry, or sometimes you have pieces and they're just laying out, so they're like a decoration. But they say here, wear jewelry or carry a piece of opaque emerald with you to bring love into your life. Traditionally, the birthstone, yes, for the month of May. So lovely. So that's emerald, but let me really get, because this is really the key part of the crystal today, the conversation. If you think of crystal, oftentimes we're thinking of the quartz crystal, or crystal as in gems like this. But crystal is really a put together, how can I say it, a box or a put together, you can say cube in the case of crystal, because crystal and rock, that's really what the gems are, as if they're rock. And they are, in essence, a form of, think of a, how would I say it? If you had to think about it, if you had to see what the crystal would be, it's almost like pockets or boxes or cubes or spaces that exist. So as you might have heard of this, there's a lot of empty space. So if you can think of it as very rigid, rigid lines, rigid boxes, rigid space, and there's a lot of them. So there's a lot of them. It's almost like you have these compartments. And so the reason, hence, crystal kind of makes a lot of sense, because that crystalline form has empty spaces within a very defined, defined setup, and it'd be different for different crystals. But what's most important is actually the what these spaces contain. They contain information. So rock crystals are very rigid, and they'll still contain information, which is hence the, let's say, the healing effects that I actually mentioned. So this one, this type of gem or this type of crystal, different healing effects that come from whatever ages of past, and they've used them. Now, if you think about semi-crystalline, let me explain that. Let's bring that to the plant, or let's bring that to a tree. So it's semi-crystalline. It still has shapes of cells, if you want to call it, and the inside also is information. So they be put together, but it won't be as rigid. That's the key thing. It's almost like I'm talking about fats here, right? You have the polyunsaturated fats, very liquid, and the properties at room temperature would be liquid, and then you have the monounsaturated, which in the case in the fridge would become somewhat solid, cooler temperatures. But then you have the butter that can be put out the temperature, it's more solid, right? So similar in the sense of, you've got the rock crystal, more rigid, and then you have the plant, less rigid, because you can press on them, you can do that, they're there. But there's another one, there's an actual third one I want to speak about, which is hugely, not going to say hugely important, but let's just say it gives us an understanding of all the idea of crystal is us, ourselves. So the cell membrane, and I research the cell membrane or study or speak to the cell membrane as it references the importance of fat. So you have the fats are broken down, and you have two of them, but they don't go together like this. They kind of repel. And so in the membrane of each and every one of our cells, you actually have this bilayer. So your cell wall is this, two, one outer and then one inner, which is into the inner cell. And this cell membrane is known as a liquid crystal. Can open and close. But what this crystal, like all the other crystals, is storage for information. And what is information actually synonymous with? Energy. So within every cell in our body is this liquid crystal membrane that is storage of energy and information. This helps you heal, helps with communication, helps with changing the pH. So the cell membrane, when you've ever heard in some, and I didn't learn this in the book that's most popular, which is Bruce Lipton's book, and he goes into how important the cell membrane is. This is studying the works of Malcolm K. Smith, who is he's not from Canada, but last I connected with him, he's actually in BC. And we did connect. I really thought his books were amazing and very, very informative. But that's kind of what I really wanted to impart on crystal, liquid crystal, solid crystal, settling crystal. And those are the three I'm most familiar with that research. The idea here is so let me take it to another level, okay, another level. So yes, you are familiar with crystals. I just spoke to one emerald, precious gem, actually a rock, if we want to bring it down to it. And then speaking about information and how crystals, not just to the rock, but it's actually a way of looking at the structure of within a plant. And this is where information is stored in us. Every cell with the cell membrane, a bilayer, so two layers within the inside of the cell, or between those two layers, is space. And this space is a liquid crystal for us, and this would have information or synonymous with energy. So that's the second piece for speaking to crystals. But the third piece that I want to kind of bring, this is more of the metaphysical thinking, energy, is that the space between these two membranes and this information, that can be ongoingly changing. It's not that our DNA is rigid and stays, but for the most part we understand our DNA, we have our DNA. But in the crystal, the information can change. So let me give you a little bit of an example here that was actually given in the book. Is this. It is known that the, let's say, I'm just going to say sisters. Let's say they're a sister. We'll use Mother Teresa as an example. And Mother Teresa does a lot of good. Okay, I've used her name. There's different scenarios that are coming up as to, but let's just say you're a person and you do a lot of good in the world. And what happens with the information is actually changes. So your information within the crystal will actually change. And in changing, what it does is it actually raises your vibration. So you can see the importance of me mentioning doing good, having kindness. And I have my daughter here. Is there something I can help you with?
I need cream cheese.
Okay, go get cream cheese. Anyway, so the idea with me sharing this third part is really to understand, as you as a person raise your vibration through kindness, acts of kindness, finding peace, doing, taking care of yourself, eating well, your thoughts on the positive, higher, on the power versus force book, just on that scale. You're not angry, you're not depressed right here. So that impacts all of the cell. That's impacting all of the cells immediately, and how they are, and this is a storage of information, and that can morph and change and evolve. So that's what I wanted. It's a third piece of crystal that I wanted to talk about. There was a lot of information in that part, or this segment of Live at 5. Hi, Angel. And so if you have to play this over again twice, 3 times, do so, because to really understand this crystal part is to really understand an energy, part of the energy, how we're energy, and how that impacts our health. It's like epigenetics. Epigenetics is probably a little bit of a play here too as well, but it may be more to the DNA, which is the DNA has switches. So as you take care of yourself, switches off and on, and you have like muscle memory. You've heard of that. So think of crystal memory. We're liquid crystals. So think of cell membrane memory for all the goodness you do, and it will reside there and stay there. The reason, hello Helen, the reason that you want to raise your vibration and your energy, it helps the overall health of your body and those around you. The idea is it used in a science practical that has appeared on this planet is getting back to, let's say, a sister kind person who's doing a lot of good work in the world. What will happen is her body won't decompose the same way. She's raised her vibration to such a state in her cellular being, her crystal, that the bodies won't decompose as much. So that is a real, tangible, something that happens, and that will give you an idea of the meaning, some meaning behind it, some sort of a connection behind it as to how it appears in living, in reality. So that might be, looking forward to your meeting later. Excellent, excellent. I will put the link again down below, for sure, for those. And I'll apologize if you're on this and I didn't get the link to you. It's only because there's a number of people, yes, I'm connected with. There's a number of people, a number of groups, and eventually, as these calls are usually once, maybe twice, maybe 3. This week it's twice, Monday and Tuesday. You can just show up. There's no password, but Monday, Tuesday they're having good meetings. And to me, it's about connecting each of us. All of us in Canada and even people abroad, because it's, caring and doing certain things is not just limited to Canada. It's global. It's for every human, basically, right? So that's great. Well, I'm glad you're coming, Sharon. So let's go into the next part. I want to show you this. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Now, this might look familiar. You've been in an event. You've gone to some sort of an event. Not all of them have it. Sometimes they'll put a stamp on you. When I was in IKEA, I don't know if I've shared this story. I don't think so. When I went to IKEA the last time, I wanted to return something because I didn't need all 3 packages of curtains in order to fill the one wall to do the recording of the YDAN exercises. I didn't. Not that I like to return things, I don't really, but I thought, and the only way they're going to do it is if you go. So here I am waiting in a very long lineup, but yet somebody assures me that this isn't as long as it was, and you could see they already had it. You wait outside, but in the under parking lot there, it's got a roof on it, but it's definitely snaked around. I was probably in 1/20th of it or something, but it still took a while because they only took 5 of us in a time. So I said, I'm exempt. I come out, where's your mask? Like maybe some people just forget. So I said I was exempt, but when I went on to customer service, the lady had said, where's your mask? And I said, well, I'm exempt. And where's your wristband? And I thought, well, was I supposed to get one from a doctor? But no, just kept quiet. And then she says, I'll get you one. And this is what they gave me at IKEA, so that none of the employees will actually ask me again. There won't be any measure. So what did I do? I rolled up my sleeve so that this could be visible. So that's the one thing as far as news goes. They might be doing this more and more, and it may be helpful, especially in IKEA, maybe a big box store, lots of employees, where you don't get asked again. You know, now I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to say anything in order to get in. I just had to say I'm exempt. Onward and upward here. Let's continue. So one of the things that I had said here is a roller coaster ride. Now, this is could be quite a lengthy conversation, but I actually want to just frame it in a way that it's going to make sense to you. And if it makes sense to you and you feel that you're on a roller coaster ride, that you are going to go, yeah, Cheryl spoke about it. It makes sense. That's what I'm doing. You know, I'm on a roller coaster ride. So this, I'm sharing this because it is something helpful, and that's what I like about Live at 5. I can share things as much as I want, as free as I want, and freely as I want, and it's helpful. It's actionable, or it's allowing your to build your information and to understand things. How do I get one? Yeah, Dave, I don't know. I have to go into IKEA, Dave, and get one, but I'm not sure if other stores are actually going to have the same wristband. But that's where I got it from. I got it straight from IKEA, and I decided, well, the easy thing about it is they didn't put it on so tight, so I was able to take it off, because if they put this on tight, I mean, you just have to cut it off, right? There's no question about it. So for some reason she put it on loose. I could take it off, and when I get here, throw it in the garbage, but I decided, I'm going to keep it so that I will wear it. You have to understand, I am not going out of my way to go any place other than I would normally do. I don't want to prove anything, don't want to stress. In fact, I could have went to a funeral for my neighbor's father, and there was only limited people, but I got asked, and I declined because I didn't want anybody to feel uncomfortable, but they had it online, so my luck, I watched it online. There you go that way. So let's get to the roller coaster ride, because I think you're going to like this one, but I don't know if you're going to like it. Roller coaster seems a lot of volatility in some ways, right? It's, you know, up and down, good days, bad days, cold, hot, warm, not so warm. So it's meant to be a roller coaster. There's up and downs. And some people will say my life's been more of a roller coaster, and other people will say it hasn't been as much of a roller coaster. So wherever it is, let's just accept, because I like that word, that your life has been like this or that. For what? For growth. So the roller coaster rides is not about looking at it as a useless journey or a useless up and down. It's never useless. Never, ever. The idea is to be able to accept, and to look at. But here I'm going to actually kind of give you a little thing that can happen. So, and this is what I was taught teachers I have, and they basically, they'll explain it in different ways. But let's just say, here's a little bit of roller coaster, right? So the roller coaster's kind of like this all the time, but something happens. Then let's just say you don't listen. You're not paying attention. And so the roller coaster goes up a longer hill, a higher hill, let's say, right? And so you're going to fall down, just like, it's going to seem like it's wavy, and you may get queasy. But let's just say that's not the end of it. So let's say you don't learn, you're not paying attention yet. And so what happens is the roller coaster next time goes up that much higher. Like, it's like, whoa, now I'm higher. And if you're afraid of heights, then you're going to recognize how uncomfortable it can feel. Now, sometimes you're going through it and you don't know you're going through it. You kind of feel it at the other end. And so you go high, and then, wow, if you don't get the lesson, then there can be this fall, and this fall, which seems like everything seems okay for now, right? It's kind of here, so, you're just swimming, just okay for now. But then the roller coaster goes back up. So as I can kind of point out, is there's different peaks for the roller coaster. It'll start off small, and then it'll get bigger, and it'll get bigger. Now let me give you a life example so you're understanding where I'm going with this. Growth is absolutely part of the roller coaster ride. That's to be accepted. I'm going to give this as a physical unfolding, okay? A physical unfolding in people's lives. Because this roller coaster can surely be connected with relationships, absolutely. It can be related to careers. But let's just see how the roller coaster ride can appear. I'm going to give you an example, appear for some people. Okay, so let's just say you fall down. I'm going to use the falling down analogy as you come up here, and so you fall down. There's many things that are kind of happening. Could be a car accident, actually. We could use it in there, but there's different degrees. So this is where the degrees come in. You're going to learn. Are you going to learn? Are you going to learn yet? Are you going to learn? Are you really going to learn? So it just gets louder if you want to look at it that way. So let's just say you get in, you fall down and you have sprained your ankle. Let's just say you sprained your ankle. Easy, you just take care of it. There's, let's just, I'm even going to make it a little bit more interesting. I'm going to add this to it. There is a uneven sidewalk on your walkway. Okay, let's just say there's an uneven sidewalk, and that's the issue. Okay, that's the issue. And you trip over it, so you sprain your ankle. That's what happens at first. A little roller coaster ride. That's just a little. And it gets better, and maybe weeks later, maybe months later, perhaps even years later for some, is that you trip again. And this time you fall down and you bruise your hip, and you're stiff, and it's uncomfortable for a number of weeks, and it's like cursing yourself for tripping, right? You're blaming yourself for tripping. Then you don't do anything about the sidewalk. And so let's just say awareness comes in where this person isn't aware that you got to fix your sidewalk. Now, I know I'm making this up, so it seems I'm making this up. Most people would go, well, I know I'm going to step over it. I'm conscious aware. But let's just say this is a good example for now without bringing in other client personal stories. And so the third time comes along, whatever number of weeks later, whatever months, whatever time, there's time that's going to happen. And this person trips, but this time this person trips, breaks their arm, and gets a concussion. I don't know, I could probably add something, a few bruises, bruise their ego, whatever it is. And it's loud. The roller coaster can really high. You better fix that, because your grandmother's going to come one day, and she's going to fall, and you will regret that you haven't fixed the sidewalk. So see that the sidewalks needs to be fixed. So let's just say the universe is giving you an opportunity to look at that and to fix it. But if not, if we don't become aware of it, then you're gonna keep tripping it over. In some cases, for some people, we may call it patterns, right? The pattern. This keeps happening. The pattern. By looking at it, a roller coaster ride, it can go really really go up and come down, and it will get louder. So it'll get bigger. It'll get bigger and bigger until a person pays attention. And this is the way in life, actually, to be aware, that being present, that being in the moment, that comes into play. I don't know, for some reason I just wanted to come in and speak to this roller coaster ride thing. I didn't know what I was going to name it at first, but that's how I would look at it. So if you have any particular things that come and go like that, one thing could be weight. Physical health, physical relationships is another big one. But it is to pay attention and to accept the things that come our way in that way, as the roller coaster ride, as a opportunity to look at it, an opportunity to repair it in the case of the sidewalk, just as simple as that. In the case of, yeah, I'm just going to leave it as that. So that's what I wanted to talk about in the roller coaster thing. My dog thinks he has all the permission in the world right now to bark his little head off. And he kind of gets, he kind of tests the water, and then I'm trying to send him a little telepathic thing here, but anyway, so that's what I want to come in and speak to today as like the main in the news. What's in the news? It's really to come on to the 7:30 call tonight. If I have your email, if I haven't already, you can send me an email, and I'll send you the email that I think does a very good job to explain what this coming together is. I don't want to call it a group, because people, no, we're not. It's not about joining a group and we're part of this group and you're part of that group and da-da. No, it's just people coming together. End of story. Coming together. That's how I'll look at it. That's how I'll frame it. So we don't see it as anything more than that. Right? Very simple. So let's end up with, I just want to mention something quickly here. I don't think I put the picture up, but I will put the picture up. I was meaning to do a blog about it. Is this, so I've been trying to get away from, and I did for many years, and then you have kids and grains. I feel so much more energy when I don't have grains. So I came up with this recipe called Sunshine Burger. Maybe somebody already came up with it. I don't know. I haven't looked at it. But there's so many variations. I'm going to do a blog on it. I'll show you the picture. I took a picture of it when I made it. And so many ideas. It's almost like looking at, in the case, I know when I do the 7-day raw food, just fruit and veggies. You don't even do nuts or seeds or oils, but fruit and veggies only. You have to get creative. And you make these lettuce sandwiches. And that's how I look at this. No bread, but there's many other things about it. But Sunshine Burger, anyway, I'm going to let you wait to see the picture, because the picture just makes it so much just more beautiful than just the name of it. And then you're going to be able to see what it looks like. And then I'll create the blog and post that up at some point. I have 2 articles to do this week. So, fun, play, fun, anything that to kind of lighten up, raise that vibration, change the liquid crystal, the energy will lighten up. And so I've heard this year. This is from the funny calendar that I have here that I got for my Christmas present. It's probably because of all the puns that I did over the years, and so people do this. So here it is. Why was the big cat disqualified from the race? Why was the big cat disqualified from the race? Now I realize the spelling of things, so you can't visually see it, but is because he was a cheetah. There you go. Anyway, can't hear you laughing, but makes me smile. I've heard that one before, but I like it. So it's because it was a cheetah. Anyway, so here we go. I'm going to wrap up. It's 5:33, and I like the threes. And we're just going to wrap it up. Try to wrap it up in 30 minutes. If there's any links to put below, I will put that for the meeting for today. And feel free to share with like-minded people. We want to come together. You know, we want peace. We want freedom of choice. It's not a crazy one. It's what I like about it is really the attitude that goes with it is very good. But as many Canadians that understand and can, collectively we can, with our energies, make a difference. But it's not like a meditation thing, is that it's very informative at the same time. That's why I like it. I just like facts, information, and there's solutions that are coming up. There's good news you get to hear. Anyway, I'll leave it. There's a lot of people coming on. I think Sylvain will have to change a little bit about the format, but he has a great format because everybody had an opportunity to share good news. But if there's a lot of people coming on, we'll just have to go with it, because it's usually about, I think the last time I went on, the last couple of times, like an hour and a half, that kind of thing. But you can come on anytime, because there'll be parts or whatever, so you just come on. And most people don't have their camera on. That's what I noticed. Most people don't. But it's completely up to you. So there you go. So live at 5 today, Monday, and all things healthy. So feedback, anything I've talked about, comments, questions, they're all welcomed. And if you don't feel comfortable putting it down below, or everybody else can see it, feel free just to private message me. That's cool with me. That's fine with me. So I'm going to wish everybody a wonderful evening. Enjoy, and enjoy it your way, however that is. And we will see you again at Live at 5. And I hope to see most of you tonight at the meeting. I'll just call it a meeting, the gathering. Anyway, take care, everyone. Bye for now. Best of health. Stay calm. Bring more peace. Do what makes you feel good. Joy every day. And yeah, we'll see what happens, unfolds. Take care.